Hi, this is Gary Duquette for Spartan Youth Radio. I'm sitting with Constable Stortz today. So thank you very much for coming into our studio.
Thanks for having me.
So you're at the school today to talk about cyberbullying and sexting. Can you explain to us what it is and why it's become such a big issue in previous years?
Well, cyberbullying in general has become a huge issue, both for the facultators at school as well as policing, because there was no means to bully outside of a social setting in previous years. Now, you can take that home, you can hide in your basement, you can utilize iPhones, you can utilize computers, and all kinds of various message boards, Facebook, all those types of things, and just be who you want to be and be as big of a bully as you can. There's no consequences to it.
Well, then how do you catch those people that kind of hide in their basement? You don't know who they are or where they came from?
Well, first someone has to tell us about them, and usually that's a victim. And unfortunately, there are victims to cyberbullying, and they show up at school. They're not themselves. They have they're dealing with it in certain ways, and then the facultators notice. They find out that they are being bullied, and either they deal with it at the school level or they bump it up to our level.
So how do you deal with those big cases? What happens when you get those victims coming to you? Where does it go from there, sort of thing?
Well, we have to launch an investigation, and we have to figure out, is this something that we need to deal with, or is this something that the parents need to deal with? There's always a trail on the internet. If the victim comes in with screenshots, you can do them on iPhones now, you can do them right on print screens, and comes in with those, we have a nice trail to follow to go at least speak with the person and let them know what they're doing is wrong.
Okay, and why is this such a big problem now? With all the computers in every home, how is it spread so fast?
Because these people that wouldn't normally be what we would consider as a bully, someone that's big and tough and mean and walk in the halls and run in the halls, it could be anyone behind that computer, and they could say the most hurtful things, and these unfortunately these hurtful things lead to some bad consequences.
So the people dealing with them, can you explain some people that had to go through it, give us some examples, sort of thing?
Well, we get what's called Facebook hate sites, and so someone might not be up to another person's standards and looks or physical abilities, and or let's just say that a young girl stole a boyfriend. So they create a Facebook hate site saying, so if everyone hates so-and-so, join this site. Seems kind of almost humorous, but that has real emotions attached to it. And this person sees that and sees all these people joining the site and realizes, wow, this amount of people hate me. This is awful.
Okay, so what steps have you been taking since extreme cases like the Amanda Todd, I believe her name was? How has the way you've dealt with cyberbullying changed since things like that, where it's come to suicide?
Well, we have to take, and I apologize for using a buzzword, but a proactive approach. Police are getting younger. They're getting more in tune with the modern ways of communication, to the point now we can feel comfortable in speaking with youth, and versus a gray-haired guy getting up and saying, don't do it, we can get up and say, hey, I use this form of communication too. I know what it's like to be isolated because I had this form of communication when I was in school. And we can speak on a better level. And hopefully the message we're trying to give is received.
So that's what you're saying, that's the main difference between how they dealt with bullying back then and now, is you're more proactive and you're with the students, telling, you're kind of among them, sort of thing, right? Mm-hmm. So how does sexting play a role in all this?
Well, sexting is a beast on its own, as well as it's very much tied in with cyberbullying, and there's two different ways you can go with that. On its own, sexting is an awful way of getting someone to like you, getting someone to notice you, or sharing an intimate moment with someone, because there is a record of it, and that record of it, which is the picture, can be used in terrible ways once that relationship you have with the person you gave it to is dissolved.
So, do you think sexting, if, say you're already in that relationship and you sext your girlfriend, is that, like, acceptable in any way as long as it doesn't go to the point where you're violating them, or can you always be charged or in trouble for that?
Well, under the age of 18, it's never right, because you're, in essence, in possession of child pornography. That being said, if two consenting adults were to decide to send pictures, there's no law against that.
Okay. So for any of those out there that are listening right now that are being cyberbullied or sexted, anything like that, or bullied in general, do you have any advice for them and what to do and steps to take to prevent it and deal with it?
Well, number one with sexting, part of my presentation involves think about this before you press send. And if you can afford to have that picture out there and everyone see it, send it. But if you can't, for any reason, don't press send. Share intimate moments in a different way. As far as cyberbullying, there's always a paper trail. We can always track who you are. In fact, it's easier to track you with cyberbullying than it is with the traditional big mean guy bullying. So it's much easier for us in the end.
So you're saying just don't do it or come to you if it actually happened. But for those people that say, like, had it happen to them anyway, like they tried preventing those photos from getting up there, what can they do, sort of thing, like if they're completely innocent in the case?
Well, again, don't take the picture, because the person who takes the picture, in essence, is in possession of child pornography. Their own, but they are in possession. Don't take the picture, because you can't afford to let it get out there. If it's out there, we have to deal with it, and come to us and we'll deal with it. And we're going to deal with it in a fair way. We're not mean people. We're not going to judge you because you sent an intimate picture. We're human beings too. That being said, we want to stop it from going anywhere further.
Well, that's a part of the thing too. It's a little embarrassing to, well, number one, to have your photo all over like Facebook or the school something, but it's even more embarrassing to go to your superiors and like policemen and your elders really and tell them that things like this are happening and now it's out there.
Absolutely, but there has to be a moment where you say, I need this to stop. This picture's out there, I need help.
Yeah. So thank you very much for talking with me today.
Okay, well, I really appreciate you having me.
This has been Gary Duquette for Spartan Youth Radio with Ed Stortz.